So, ladies and gentlemen, quick quiz question. Of the modern era in relation to NFL players, coaches, announcers, developers, promoters, who is the most important that nobody talks about really on a regular basis, even though I consider him the kind of the Einstein of the NFL? Think for a second. It's got to be an NFC East player, got to be a former head coach, got to be a memorable head coach, and got to be somebody who's cerebral and knows what he's talking about and is quotable. Well, this guy deals with all those boxes, and I basically believe he should be put in charge of the CFL down the road as our commissioner because I think he's not say burned every bridges in the NFL, but he's pissed enough people off and excited a lot of people to be that controversial. Of course, it's the instigator of the miracle at the Meadowlands, Herm Edwards. Now, Herm Edwards, born in Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, is an American football coach and former pro player. Was most recently a head coach at Arizona State. He played CB in the NFL for 10 seasons, primarily with Eagles. He was also a head coach in the NFL from 01 to 08 with the New York Jets and Kansas City Chiefs. Following the conclusion of his NFL coaching career, Edwards was a football analyst at ESPN for 8 years. He returned to coaching in 2018 when he was named head coach of Arizona State, and he's gone back to broadcasting right now. Now, as a player, Edwards is best known for scoring the game-winning touchdown off a fumble recovery in 78 Miracle at the Meadowlands. And now, I saw this game live on TV. Pisarcik was supposed to run at the clock. He tried to pass the ball over to the running back, fumbled. Edwards caught it. I don't believe it. And it changed the fortunes for the Giants and the Eagles. They really smartened up their game, which led to the Eagles getting to the Super Bowl against the Raiders and the Giants being a dominating team in the 1980s. So both team benefited from it because they had to smarten up. Now, during his NFL coaching tenure, he reached the playoffs 4 times, 3 times with the Jets and once with the Chiefs. His most successful season was in 2002 when he led the Jets to the division title, which is the franchise's most recent. Edwards became very popular as a coach and broadcaster for his short, punchy declarations dubbed Hermisms by fans. The message "you play to win the game," which he delivered during a Jets press conference, would become the title of his self-help book. Now, video of this comment is all over the internet. Well, basically said you don't just play the game to play the game, you play to win it. And that's how it works. Yes, there's going to be a winner or loser, you can shake hands, but it's better to win than to lose. That's what I'm saying. Now, born on an army base in Eatontown, New Jersey, the son of an American World War II veteran and his German wife, he graduated from Monterey High School in Monterey, California. He played college football at the University of California, Berkeley in 72 and 74, and in 70 at junior college at Monterey Peninsula in 73, and at San Diego State in his senior year in 1975. Get this, he graduated from SDSU with a degree in criminal justice. He also helped promote Monterey County Special Olympics for several years. His public involvement helped educate Monterey County residents about the importance of athletics with the developmentally disabled. Now, in the NFL, he played 9 seasons with the Eagles and also campaigns with the Falcons and Rams. He made a championship appearance with the squad in Super Bowl 15. His 33 career interceptions is one short of the franchise record. He never missed a game in his 9 seasons with Eagles, remaining active with the squad for 135 consecutive regular season contests until being cut by that asshole Buddy Ryan in '86, who came in as head coach. Edwards went on to play briefly for the Rams and Falcons in '86 before announcing his retirement. Again, the highlight of Edwards' playing career occurred in the 12th game of the '78 season. In the final seconds of a contest against the Giants at the Meadowlands on November 19th, New York had led 17-12 and the Eagles had no timeouts remaining. But instead of simply taking the snap from center and kneeling, Giants quarterback Joe Pisarcik attempted to hand the ball off to Hall of Fame running back Larry Zonka. However, the ball came loose and Zonka would rarely fumble, and Edwards picked it up and returned it for a touchdown, enabling the Eagles to win 1917. The play became known in Philadelphia as the Miracle at the Meadowlands and in New York City as simply the fumble. The Eagles made the playoffs and the Giants finished at 6-10. Now, Philadelphia's implementation of the victory formation, which is designed as a result of the Miracle at the Meadowlands, was known as the Herm Edwards play. Now, the coaching record with the New York Jets again, they won the division title under him in 2002. made the playoffs 3 out of 4 years. And then when he went to KC in 2006, he lost to the Colts. Now he's 0-4 in the postseason, but it is what it is. Now with the Jets, 3 of his 5 seasons were winning records. Had a bad 4-12 in 05. Kansas City, one winning record, 9-7 in 2006. Now with the Arizona State Sun Devils, coaching over 5 campaigns, 7-6, 8-5, 2-2, 8-5, and 1-2. And he won the Sun Bowl in 19 and lost the Vegas Bowl 18 and 21. And again, Edwards was fired after 3 games in the 22 season. So, but see, Herm Edwards' style, and it best be described as the fact there's no bullshit with this guy. Now, there's a certain section online called Hermanisms or Hermanisms that really talk about the Colts. Now, the popularity among motivational speakings even led to publication of his own book of quotes. Now, not say he's a typical motivational speaker. Very handsome man, but very sturdy, very army-like, and, half German. The Germans can really present things well. Now, the biggest one he's referred to was the pre-Halloween comment in 2002. This happened following a question from the New York Times sports reporter Judy Battista, incorrect spelling, he doesn't spell it like Jose, on a team's ability to win after Week 8 loss to the Browns and left them 2-5. After this speech, the Jets, sparked by the debut of quarterback Chad Pennington, would go 7-2 overall and win the AFC Eastern Division. Now, this monologue was later incorporated in a TV commercial for Coors Light beer. Imagine Herb Edwards, he's at the podium, and this is what he said. That's what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. And he paused, he went, hello, you play to win the game. You don't play it just to play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. I don't care if you don't have any wins, you go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out, because it matters. Just like Singletary, but can't coach him, can't play him, can't do anything with him. Now, with the Kansas City Chiefs, it continued. In a match following a win against the Chargers in 06, he said, I did a lot of preaching this week. I had my sermons ready. The good part is the congregation was listening. I wish I had passed the collection plate. I would have made a lot of money, but I did it for free. Now, in an interview with the South Florida Sun Sentinel reporter Ethan J. Skolnick, he kind of gave his mantra. When you're a head coach, you don't know where to stand. You're screwed up, you go in the field, no one's talking to you. Someone's going to talk to me. You don't know what to do. So you go over and talk to the other head coach and kind of shake his hand, and you go, where do I stand? Now, when Edwards defeated defending the Chiefs' 97 record and the playoffs in 07, let's not get this thing twisted and think we backed into this deal. We didn't lose, we won. Every team that played this weekend played at home and had an opportunity to get in the playoffs just like us. We just happened to win. What's wrong with that? So let's not get it twisted and say, well, they're lucky. We didn't get lucky. We won. Now, when he talked about points in football, very interesting comment, and I haven't heard this for a while. When we score 7 points, I'll say we're slow starting. We score 21, I'll say, well, we scored a lot of points. 21 points, that's a lot of points. 30 points, that's not even a football game. That's arena football. We're talking about real football. Now, the Kansas City losing streak, which kind of eventually got him fired, that's what he said. People aren't used to us in Kansas City. Get over it. It happens. It's called life. You can't think you're too big. That's not going to happen to you. Losing happens to everybody, and this is true. So you got to understand, we have Pinball Clemens in Canada, like a motivational speaker. You look at the Montreal Canadiens players, and Steve Schott, not say a motivational speaker, but some of the key Montreal Canadiens, when they would speak, Phyllis was either in 72. Sports is a rough game. Covering it is hard because we have to determine why someone won or lost. When someone wins, we ask the same question, why did you win? You lose, why did you lose? But Herm Edwards, what he would say, said basically you play to win the game. What is the most important quote from a black athlete or coach in the history of sports? Allen Iverson saying, you're talking about practice. Practice. Not a game I live and die for, practice. That showed the basketball mentality he had. It shows a lot. And, Singletary said, Can't do nothing with him. Mike Singletary comes to me as a member of the best defense in NFL history and saying you're not producing, I'll be scared I don't shit my pants. But Herm Edwards was different because he didn't seem like a violent guy, but he was like a drill instructor being held back. It was almost like you see in those old drill instructor movies. Do you feel what I'm trying to tell you, punk? Do you understand? You must understand or you'll be out of here. Do you hear me? But Herm Edwards rarely gets interviewed like an in-depth interview that would really go in deep. The mantra of him, the playoffs, Jim Moore playoffs. Those mentalities, it takes a long while to leave a quote, and I hope you take it the right way. In hockey, you got confrontational quotes. Tortorella, the player not reacting to the question. But in football, there's a lot of military strategy with football. You look at the side now, like back in the 70s, there was no plastic thing with the blue and red boxes and all the bullshit like that. Nowadays, it's all analytics, it's all different stuff. But you play from Herm Edwards, you got to play. All those teams that made the playoffs. If he wasn't there, he wouldn't have made the playoffs. There's a fine line between winning and losing. It's usually the last 3 to 4 games of the season. Dallas Cowboys, when we stopped making the playoffs, we're losing late in the season. The years we made the playoffs, we're winning late in the season. So looking at Montreal Alouettes, the momentum that they had in the CFL led them to the Grey Cup. When you win, it makes more momentum. As soon as you lose, you can stop it in its tracks. Looking at Montreal Canadiens against Tampa Bay in the final a couple of years ago. So for me, Herm Edwards, his NFL quote, you play to win the game. It's a top 3 sports quote of all time, in my personal opinion. Why would you spend millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to get ad revenue and to buy something? Fuck's sake, the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones bought it for a few $100 million. Now it's worth 10, 15 billion. You got Dolly Parton singing in front of 75,000 turkey eaters on Thursday. You play to win the game, and winning is better than losing. I've heard that line. I can't remember what movie it's from. If somebody can remind me. Winning is better than losing. But quotes. I think Herm Edwards must have been a fan of Slapshot. With the Hanson brothers. I'm listening to the fucking song. It was the same thing when Herm Edwards said that. I said, Jesus Christ, he must relate to the Hansons, because it was a hockey quote in an NFL game that should have been done by a hockey coach years before. You think Scotty Bowman, John Muckler, or Glenn Sader would say, you play to win the game? You would never said that. Hockey is not the same mentality. You got 16, 17, 18 games in the NFL to win. You lose one, you could be fucked for the rest of the season. It's a weirder sport. In hockey, you can lose 5 games, still make the playoffs. Montreal Canadiens, I think one year they went on, they never lost a game last 21 games of the season. Won the first 3 games in the playoffs and shit the bed versus Minnesota. It's a funny game. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing here, we're an NFL podcast. Let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget, you play to win the game. Not a game of life. Life is not a practice. Life is a game. It's not a practice. Get into the game. Thanks for listening.